name's Neen James and I'm an attention expert. Have you ever thought about what is your power position? I believe that each one of us, if you really want to get the attention of the people in conversation, to really grab the attention of the buyer in your sales conversation, or maybe as a speaker when you open your speech, how do you grab the attention of people in the audience? I believe that having a really powerful positioning matrix assists you. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, I don't know about you, but often when we attend networking events, the first thing people ask you is what? Yeah. So what do you do? I don't know about you, but I think it's a very boring question, and yet it's one that we all ask. So I'd like to give you a great formula of how you can answer that question. When you think about your response, there's two things to consider. One is, what kind of energy do you want to bring to the conversation? Is it a low energy? Meaning, if I'm flying from Philly to LA and it's a 6-hour flight, maybe I don't want to be talking to the person beside me the whole way, so it might be a low energy response. Or maybe I'm at a dinner party with friends and I love the opportunity to share a little bit more about what I do. Or maybe I'm serving a team in a convention center as a keynote speaker and there's so many things I want to share with them, my energy will be really high. The other thing to consider is not just energy, but what's your focus? Is the focus on you and your achievements? Is it on the work that you do? Or maybe is it on the benefits to the person you might be talking to or their organization? So energy and focus are two things to consider with the positioning matrix. You can find a positioning matrix here on my website. Have a look on the blog and you'll find it there. But I also believe that you've got to think about how can you quickly grab someone's attention, and this is the way to do it. The first thing to consider is what's your history? What's some things about you that you're known for? And then what category do you fit into? For example, I'm an attention expert. I'm a keynote speaker. Some people are CPAs or attorneys, or maybe you're a leadership expert. And then the third thing to think about is when it's about you, what are you obsessed about? So for me, for example, I might say I grew up in corporate business in Australia and I've worked in retail banking, the telecommunications and the oil industry. Not a lot of ticks in oil, just saying. I'm an attention expert and I'm obsessed with getting the world to pay attention to what really matters so they can get more done. That shows you an example of just one way to position myself. The next thing to think about is some examples of things you've done, projects you've worked on, or clients that you've served. And then what's an analogy for you? For example, all my meeting planners often say I'm like the Energizer Bunny for their meeting, but my batteries don't run out. And then the third thing to think about is what is unique about you? So let me give you an example of how that might sound. I might say I've had the privilege of working for clients that include Comcast, the FBI, BMW, Viacom, Abbott Pharmaceuticals, and so many more. And during those times, I've had the privilege to work as an executive coach and a mentor, but also as a keynote speaker at their annual retreats. My meeting planners say I'm like the Energizer Bunny. What's unique about me, though, is being Australian with a voice that sounds like I'm 5. I also have a global perspective. I'm also published of several books around the area of productivity and attention. So there's some things that are unique about me. Do you get the point? And then the third thing to consider is really the focus of the work you do that benefits others. So another way to think about this is, what are the particular challenges or problems? I don't like the word problem. What are the challenges that you solve for the people that you work with? And then what are the solutions that you provide? And then lastly, what's the purpose behind what you do? Why do you do what you do? For example, for me, I might say something like, many of my clients tell me there's never enough hours in the day. There's so many things to do. They don't know what to focus on first. And many of them say, Neen, I'm exhausted and I don't know where to put my attention. So the solution that I provide for that is I come in as a keynote speaker to provide not only motivation and inspiration, but practical strategies they can apply as soon as they leave the conference. I also work one-on-one in a mentoring program to work with people who really want to accelerate their performance. See, the reason I do what I do is because I love seeing people pay attention to what matters, to get more done, so they can create significant moments that matter. So it's about thinking about your history, the category, and what are you obsessed about. Giving some examples and analogy and what's unique about you. And then lastly, what are the challenges, solutions, and why do you do what you do? If I was stringing all of that together and I was at a networking event, it might sound something like this. I grew up in corporate business in Australia. I've worked in retail banking, the telecommunications, and the oil industry. As an attention expert, I am obsessed with getting people to pay attention to what matters so they can create more significant moments. Some examples of clients I've worked with include Comcast, Viacom, the FBI, BMW, and so many more, and I've had the privilege of working as a mentor and a keynote speaker. Meeting planners will tell you I'm like the Energizer Bunny, but my batteries don't run out. And what's unique about me is being Australian, living in America, and a recent American citizen, I must say. I have a global perspective, but also a local perspective. I'm published in many areas, including books on productivity. Some of the challenges that my clients face is they're overwhelmed, overstressed, and overtired with email, meetings, and distractions. And I fix that. The way that I can fix that is come in and open your Keynote to provide really practical, implementable strategies they can apply immediately, and then work with your leaders one-on-one to make sure that the message cascades through your organization. The reason I do what I do is because I love to be able to help people get more done so they can create more significant moments that matter. So, that sounds really long, I know, but when you do the work, you can customize it for every audience. For example, I use it as a sales script whenever I'm about to talk to someone about a new opportunity. And I just tailor the examples, the solutions, and the analogies for the person that I'm standing in front of. If you'd like to know more about this, please contact my office. My email address is here below, and you can check out the positioning matrix at neenjames.com on the blog. We can also connect on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @NeenJames, or you can come across and like us at Facebook on Neen James Communications. Today, what's your power position? How can you really grab the attention of people and answer the question differently? So what do? Nobody does business in an elevator. It's crazy to call it an elevator statement. What's your power position? Discover yours today.